got bodies on bodies.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Yak Gotti. I got bodies on bodies.
Start with a developing story out of Southwest Atlanta. That's where there were 3 shootings, all of them fatal, taking place within 5 miles and 3 hours of each other.
The subject of today's video is a cold-blooded killer that's ready to put in work at a moment's notice. For those of you that keep up with hip-hop, you know that one of the largest takedowns in rap history just went down. The YSL street gang, made popular by rappers Young Thug and Gunna, was just taken down in an indictment by the state of Georgia using the RICO Act. All of the members of YSL are now facing decades in prison. Young Thug and Gunna may be the big names of YSL, but there was another member that was the most dangerous and the one putting in the most damage in the streets. The name of that member is Yak Gotti, and today we're going to be telling his story. But before we get into the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Yak Gotti's real name is Diamante Kendricks. In an interview with No Jumper, he stated that the Yak in his name is short for maniac. He grew up in Atlanta and actually knew Young Thug at a very early age. They apparently lived in hoods right next to each other, and they met at just 7 years old. Yak's uncle owned his own record label, so this made Yak interested in making his own music. With a record label owning uncle and a friend like Young Thug, Yak would have his foot in the door in the music industry. However, music wasn't his primary focus. Yak states that he jumped into the street life at just the age of 13, and seeing one of his close friends get shot made him grow up quickly. Unfortunately for him, all of the negative repercussions of the gangster lifestyle would follow him all throughout his life. While in the streets, Yak would still play sports. In fact, he had college scholarships to play football from Division I schools. However, one day, he got accused of rape and lost all of his college scholarships. Yak was the most successful person and popular person at his high school, so he had a target on his back. One day, a new girl transferred to his school and took an interest in Yak. The girl asked Yak to be her boyfriend, but Yak declined her. After this, the girl began to tell everyone that Yak raped her. Yak was just 16 at the time. The police went after him, but he went on the run. His mother made him turn himself in, and he had to spend time in an adult jail as just a 16-year-old. Yak would be released on bond, and nothing would ever result from the case. The case stayed pending for 7 years, and Yak claims that the girl transferred schools and did the same thing to another boy. With all of his scholarships revoked and his sports dream crushed, Yak would fully dive into the street life full time. Just 2 years after beating the rape charge, Yak would be hit with his first murder charge. One day, Yak got into an argument with his mother, so his mother left the house and drove off. While she was driving, she honked a horn at a pedestrian that was walking across the street slowly. The pedestrian then cursed at Yak's mother, and the two of them got into a back and forth argument. As the argument ensued, the pedestrian pulled out a gun and opened fire, aiming at Yak's mother. Luckily, the shots missed, and Yak's mother was able to get away unharmed. In an interview, Yak can be quoted as saying, "You shoot at my mom, you gotta go." Eventually, the person that shot at Yak's mom would be found dead. The police charged Yak Gotti with the murder as they believed that he had a clear motive. However, the police were never able to prove that he was the one that killed the man that shot at his mother, so Yak was released on bond after 7 months and officially beat the case a year later. After beating the murder, Yak would have the reputation of someone that you shouldn't mess with. One day, while at a block party, Yak got into an altercation with a group of men. Yak Gotti is a Piru, and he was there dressed in red. The group of men were Crips, and they walked up on him, leading to Yak clutching his gun. The tension arose once Yak's crew walked into the party. A truck then ran over a bottle in the middle of the street, causing people to think that a shot was let off. This caused the two groups to then get into a shootout with each other, and Yak was shot 5 times but survived. He was shot 4 times in the leg and once in the arm. As the years continued, Yak Gotti would find himself wrapped up in a deadly gang war. Yak and his YSL crew would engage in a bloody beef with YFN that would terrorize the streets of Atlanta. It's rumored that the beef was started by a murder that Yak Gotti committed. On January 11, 2015, YFN Lucci's mentor Big Nut was shot and killed outside of an Atlanta barbershop. 2 other people, including a 14-year-old, were also hit during the shooting. Big Nut's real name was Donavon Thomas, and he was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. This murder sent shockwaves throughout Atlanta and sparked the warfare between YSL and YFN. During the recent YSL indictment, Young Thug is believed to have been the one that rented the car used in the murder, and Yak Gotti is believed to be one of the gunmen responsible for the death of Big Nut. However, Yak wouldn't be charged for this murder until this year. He is now facing 1 murder charge and 2 counts of attempted murder for the shooting. Prior to the current indictment, Yak would serve some serious jail time. On October 1st, 2015, Yak and his passenger Duke from YSL fled a traffic stop and engaged in a short high-speed chase that ended after Yak ran a stop sign, lost control of the vehicle, and hit a guardrail. The police apprehended the men after they attempted to flee on foot. Upon searching the vehicle, the officers discovered a small amount of marijuana as well as a pistol and a semi-automatic rifle, both loaded. Later investigation revealed that both firearms were stolen. In subsequent interviews with police, Yak admitted that he owned the rifle and that he lent it to Duke, who planned to use it that night to retaliate against a rival gang who beat him up. Yak also told police that the pistol was his and described an unrelated incident shooting that firearm. Yak and Duke were both charged in state court, but while Yak was also charged in the instant case in federal court, Duke was not charged in federal court. Yak ultimately pled guilty to being a felon in possession of a firearm. He ended up serving 5 years in prison starting in 2015, and he was released in 2020. After being released from prison, Yak Gotti's music career began to take off. As his music career had begun to take off, Yak and all of YSL have now been taken down by the police. He is now facing charges for the murder of Big Nut and various other conspiracy charges. Included in the indictment is the Instagram post that Yak made of him standing on the car of his rival YFN Lucci. The police are using this post to prove that Yak is a dangerous member of YSL and needs to stay behind bars. Yak Gotti is currently locked up and facing decades in prison. Let me know what you guys think of this situation in the comment section, and please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.